So good to see everybody.
Welcome, everyone.
It's been, we were off last week. Annie, did you enjoy your vacation?
I did. I was in the sunshine up in Rhode Island. And any other New Englanders up here?
Any New Englanders in the room?
I say it as though I'm still a current New Englander.
Well, if you grew up there, I feel like it's always in your heart, right?
Always.
Well, hey, listen, we are excited. We encourage you to be vocal, to turn your cameras on, to engage, to light up the chat. We are here to spend the next half hour educating you guys on AI. This is our third webinar series. If you have missed any of our others, we encourage you to check us out on YouTube. And don't worry so much about taking notes, because what we will do is send you information at the end of the event with all the details. Oh, we got someone from Vermont.
A fellow New Englander.
Okay, well,
Green Mountain State.
Oh, well, now you're a Jersey girl. Do we have any Jersey girls or gals in the room? Come on, don't be shy. I know that those from New Jersey are not shy. That is one thing I do know about our peeps.
Lisa, how is it up in Vermont? Are you getting the heat wave like we've had around here lately? Although it's been feeling like kind of like a September morning it's been this week. Michigan.
We're actually in the 60s.
Ooh, so you got a bit of a cool week this week.
No, we're not, like, summer's not over, folks. So
Right.
someone tell somebody that. Like, I'm not subscribing to any of this. We still got a lot of fun beach days in us. But what we will take to the beach with us is our knowledge of AI. How about that?
Absolutely. I think we can kick it off.
All right. Are you guys excited? So if you are new to the program, anyone new, if you are new, put a 1 in the chat. Let's see. Let's call out the newbies. Oh,
Returning guests. We
returning
like it.
guests.
Oh,
All right.
here's a new one.
Joseph, welcome.
Welcome.
You're going to have fun. Okay.
Edith, nice to meet you.
We've been told we talk fast, but that's okay, because we got a lot to cover, and we just get excited about AI. So the rules are simple. Use the chat, ask questions, jump in. We like to have interactive. We like to have fun. We're here to educate. So with that said, Annie, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, let's get started. So like Colleen mentioned, we are here from Lawyer.com to help educate you on AI and give you some of the latest updates in the AI legal space specifically. This is Colleen, our lovely president at Lawyer.com. I am Annie. I work in the product team and work very closely with our tech team. On the call, we also have Chad Kirby, our legal marketing expert, and we also have the help of our friend ChatGPT.
I was actually using ChatGPT like 5 minutes ago. Is anyone actively using ChatGPT? If so, throw a 1 in the chat. Anyone use it today? Put a 1 up in there. Nice. Nice.
Awesome.
All right, Sarah, what were you using it for? Oh, cool. All right, Sarah, what were you using it for? Type it or anybody really?
Wow. This is exciting to see.
Playing around. I still don't trust it. Okay.
Warming up to it. That's okay.
We talked about the helmet and the guide rail, so we got you on that one.
Oh, Diana, how have those recommendations been? I'm always curious. Have you put it actually to the test and traveled to where it was?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, right.
So.
All right.
Well, hey,
all right.
How bank. Okay, so the reason we're here, guys, is to teach you how to be smart to use AI, right? How to understand this technology and how you can use it to build a better business or take a fabulous vacation. I am willing to travel and have my passport, so
right,
just in case you need company. So again, we want to round up the news, talk about creative thinking. So AI changes so fast, so we try to keep up as fast as we can, as you'll see, quite hard. But let's talk about creative thinking, because this is hot in the news right now.
Absolutely. And it kind of goes right along with what Britt said, to use it for language for a condolence letter.
I love that.
I'm sorry someone had a loss.
Yeah.
But that is something that's greatly evolving throughout the past 6-7 months. So something that happened recently at the University of Montana is that they conducted the Torrance test of creative thinking. So they usually give this to students. You can't currently access it online. I tried to look that up. It's only given out through researchers. So what they did is they gave it to students, and then they also gave it to GPT, and then they gave the results to a grader. They did not tell the grader who did it and who didn't. So they didn't know who was human and who was AI generated. And so when it was first done using ChatGPT 3, the free version, it didn't do as well as the humans. But when they tried GPT-4, what do we think the score was?
Oh.
Any participation?
Oh, I love quizzes. All right,
Awesome,
Sarah. All right, any other guesses? That's a high percentage.
Yeah.
I'm not in the top 1%. Well,
Right.
I want to take the test just to see, but I'd have to go to Montana maybe. All right, well, it
Awesome.
looks like
Sarah, you are correct. ChatGPT scored in the top 1%. So what this means and why we wanted to highlight it is that as we've mentioned throughout the past couple months, getting on the ChatGPT for the ChatGPT Plus paid version is advantageous for a variety of different reasons. But this one in particular, it's more creative with the output. It's creating more unique output than what was previously there.
Right.
And something that we noticed recently about this, and we've talked about it before for some of our returning guests, is about the plugins. So we've mentioned before that ChatGPT, the too long didn't read version, is that you could just go to this platform and suddenly there are these other sites, like you could have someone mentioned for travel, so like Expedia or Kayak. Those are some plugins that were available that allowed you to do things with other websites without leaving ChatGPT. And we talked about how they had PDF you could email things, you could create graphs, visuals, all of these great things. So when we started this series, there were 262 plugins. Now, as of August 3rd.
Oh, let's guess. Let's do a guess. Another $25 gift card. I know someone on our side's paying attention. So they'll make sure to process all the gift cards. So the question is, how many plugins are there
right now? Ooh. Diana. Manifesting.
Okay. Let's give them a floor. When we started doing this webinar about 3 months ago, how many plugins were there?
262.
262. Okay. And we play Price is Right around here. The closest without going over wins.
All right. We'll take 2 more. All right. So I think on that note, Lisa is the closest. Lisa, you are the closest to the guest. So right now, ChatGPT has 803 official plugins. So plugins, I saw in a question in the chat, a plugin is the easiest way to explain it is that when you go into ChatGPT, there's a little checkbox that you can select that says plugins, and it's almost like downloading an app from the App Store or Google Play. It allows ChatGPT to do something extra, more than just create a language output. So say I want to go on a trip to Florida and I want to plan a nice weekend by the beach, but I don't want there to be any sharks. I don't like sharks. So I want to make sure I'm going to a beach where there's not a lot of shark sightings. So I could ask ChatGPT with the Expedia plugin checked on, I could say, hey, can you find me the best time of year that I should travel to Florida when there won't be sharks available? And can you also send me an estimate of how much those flights are going to cost? It's going to communicate with Expedia and it's going to say the average cost of a flight during, say, February is this amount of money. So it's just an easier way to get info without having to use a different website. It's a long story short of it.
No, it's good. All right. Well, you're going to continue on our news updates.
Awesome.
Microsoft. All right. How many people are using Microsoft here? Outlook? Do we have any Outlook users in the house?
Yes. Yep.
I feel like it's a standard, all Microsoft. Yep. That's what I figured. The yeses are going to blow up the chat. So this is going to apply to all of you guys. And again, if we go too fast, don't worry. We will send you a recap at the end, and then you could always get in touch with us and we can walk you through it. But this is going to be really, really helpful to those Microsoft users. Annie, you want to walk us through this?
Yeah, absolutely. So for Microsoft updates in general, there are 2 levels to it. So the first one is Bing Chat Enterprise. So something that we talked about early on is that we've got ChatGPT, but then we've also got this upgraded Bing 2.0 that's very similar to ChatGPT. It's just Bing 2.0, different platform. And so recently we've had a lot of questions about data security and how can I trust that what I put in isn't going to be shared to train the machine? How do I know that my firm's info is going to only be accessible to my firm? And this is the answer you have been waiting for. So Bing has launched Bing Chat Enterprise. It's going to be available very soon. It is a subscription for your firm that you can have commercial data protection. So what this means is that all of your data is guaranteed to be protected. The chat's not saved, and Microsoft has 0 access to your files and they can never train off of it. So we talked about before how when you're in ChatGPT, there is an opt-out feature. So if you have data concerns, you could opt out there, but you have to take that manual step in order to do it. it. It won't automatically know to do that.
Right.
If you have that concern, you could use Bing Chat Enterprise. Say you have a couple, maybe you have an attorney, you have a firm where you've got maybe 15 people working there, and you want to make sure everyone's using the same platform. We don't have any data leaks. Maybe you want to explore Bing Chat Enterprise.
No, it's great to use.
And another piece of the exciting
Oh.
update is the Microsoft 365 AI subscription. So it is going to be for an additional $30 a month. It's going to include that Bing Chat Enterprise, but the extra features of it is that AI is going to be in all those Microsoft products you're already using.
Yep.
So if you're using Word and you typed up a really great demand letter, say you need to make a slideshow, or say you need to create something for court, you could ask it and ask the AI tool, create me a slideshow for this. And automatically it's going to take that content and create something for you in a different product. And it'll do things too for emails. It could help summarize docs and help send it via
That's helpful.
Outlook.
Yeah.
It can do a lot of stuff. So that is an add-on. You won't automatically get that just because you use Microsoft. You have to explore adding that on for $30 a month, but it's an option.
So would I want this at $30 a month and then ChatGPT at $20 a month, or do I pick one?
Honestly, it's a personal call. I would say to pick one, so
Yep.
that way you're keeping all of your searches in one area. I
Yeah.
think it can get messy. Just personally, I always hop from different platforms and it's hard to do.
Yeah.
And so I think picking one is probably easiest, but I would invite you to explore it. There's free versions of both platforms that aren't requiring a paywall. So you could try it out, and then whichever one you like, sign up from there.
And we'll send you the link so that you can make sure you're on the wait list and you know exactly when it launches so that you can be the first in line. And it would be $30 per user.
Yes.
And my guess, so ChatGPT has restrictions, so you can only have X amount of chats per time period, and I'm sure it's going to be very similar.
Yeah, so that's how they can kind of help police to make sure that it's not getting abused.
Yeah.
But like we said, we've mentioned this previously, that a lot of the challenge when it comes to creating a fast results for ChatGPT is not having enough computing power, so not enough brain power on the back end.
Right.
And so Microsoft has so much money that perhaps they do, and maybe it will be faster. I'm not sure yet. But as a side note, you could sign up for that Bing Chat Enterprise, that one that we talked about previously, separately for $5 a month. If you just want to do that, if you don't want to
Well,
add.
and if you are, let us know. We want to know what's happening and if y'all like it and how you're using it. So next up, machine unlearning. So here we are to learn, but wait, hold on. Now we have to unlearn. What are we unlearning?
Absolutely. So we'll give you the Eli 5 to explain it like I'm 5. So machine learning, it refers to the whole process of technology becoming smart by learning off of something. So you give it insight, a document, an Excel spreadsheet, and it learns off of that, and it gets smarter, and that's how it's able to generate new, unique AI results.
Yeah.
But historically, machines are only smart enough to learn. And if you said unlearn, it knows to unlearn everything. It can't delineate between two different commands like that. And so this is an exciting new frontier that Google has launched a challenge to get a machine unlearning algorithm. So the reason this is really important is because now this would allow you to say, okay, I trained you on all of these processes for my firm. I want you to forget this one thing. I didn't mean to tell you that. Just please forget that one thing. And that's something that right now it can't do. So that would be really exciting to have that.
Yeah.
But on the larger scale, it's really good for something like bias. So if they start detecting that machine learning and AI has a bias and how it detects things, this is the way that they can reverse that. So it's something that it might seem like, well, why do we need this? But it's really important for the future and the overall safety.
Or say something changes, because laws are changing all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I was using this. Now you have to unlearn it and relearn this because a new decision was made.
Absolutely. And it brings up another thought too. We've mentioned previously that there is the Center for AI Safety, CAIS. And so that is something that a lot of the big leaders in AI have come together and work together to do a lot of resource building in the local community, provide a lot of research and documents. And so I just wanted to highlight as well that Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, they have all come together to form another one called the Frontier Model Forum. Don't know how that's different, but I do want to highlight that they are doing a lot more, and especially publicly, to show that they are being responsible.
Well, someone had said earlier that, they're still not trusting. So understand that it's a new piece of technology, but also understand that brilliant minds are working to make sure that you are protected. And those are two organizations to very large organizations that are working towards that. But I think the whole reason we came here today was to say, how can AI help me grow my firm? How can it make me money? How can it make me more efficient? And that's really truly what we're here to talk about. So Annie's going to help us go through some demos. These are legal platforms that are available. They're out there. You can be using them. I will say that we do not have a horse in the game here, or horse in the race. I think, is that it?
Yeah,
Horse
yeah.
in the race. So we are just providing information. We don't stand by any of these companies. We just see them keep coming up every time we're going to look through it. So with that said, let's see what we can learn about legal research, billing and finance, firm research, consumer search, memos. There's so much to go through. So let's kick it off.
Awesome. Yeah. So just like Colleen mentioned, we are not affiliated with any of these. We just really wanted to highlight them as they are some of the biggest names we've come across. And I just wanted to highlight that these are for general practice. We're not going into specific practice areas at this point in time, but these are more that these could be used from anyone that's an attorney on this call. So on that note, let's dive into case text.
Anyone know about case text? Number one, $25. If anyone in the room can tell us, who did case text just sell to?
Anyone know?
Anyone? Type it in. $25. They sold for a whopping $650 million to,
yes, Britt,
right,
you got
the
it.
winner, to Westlaw Rooters. Nicely done.
Yeah, so this is a big thing because case text is really coming for at Lexis in a lot of ways when it comes to case research. So something that case text can do is it can allow you to upload documents and build a database for yourself. So something we've gotten asked about regularly is, can I upload 14 pages of this doc into this, and will it start, can I communicate it with it from there? ChatGPT doesn't let you do that, but case text does. So we're going to show you a quick demo of what that looks like. So co-counsel is what it's called. And as you'll see, you can upload the exact documents you want it to review. So you can ask it some questions. You could say, anything that you wanted. So it could be something from a contract. It could be something that you're redlining, and it will bring you to that exact point in the document. You can make that into a whole database. So say you've done a lot of e-discovery and you have a lot of emails that you need to go through. You could use this to help search all of those emails. So now you don't have to have the paralegal go do that. You could use this. You could talk to it like a normal search engine, like it's Google.
Very conversation based. Right?
Yeah. And so this is where the Westlaw piece comes really in handy. It's because of all these statutes in the case law. They have a whole database of all of this case information, and that's directly tying in here. So you have that peace of mind that citations you're getting are accurate. And so another thing is you can redline contracts. So right here, you're going to see how it's going to show from what document makes it the system say, I don't think that you would agree to this. You previously agreed to this. I would suggest this language instead. And more so, it can also just give you an overall view of things too. So if you wanted to just get answer questions, as you'll see here, it doesn't have to be in legalese. It can be very quick questions to ask that you could then send out to a client, or you could share with the rest of your team.
Really exciting. So now I know someone just asked about Lexis Plus AI. I know Lexis, they actually bought last summer, Lex Machina. So they were early in this game, and they are getting ready to launch. And I know the mention was August. So I would call your Lexis reps and make sure you're on the wait list, because you're either using case text or you're using Lexis Plus. Yeah.
And I'm glad you asked that, Britt. That from the last speech I went to from Lexis, that was in July. They did say it would be available in August sometimes. Who knows if that's going to be the last day of August? I feel like that's how sometimes they pull these things, but it is supposed to be coming very soon. And now I believe that they are offering some CLE credits for those demos. So if you've got a Lexis subscription, I definitely recommend checking that out and getting familiar with it.
Well, again, it's your competitors are using this.
Absolutely.
Or will be using it. So you want to make sure that you're ahead of your competitors. That's why. That's why you're smart enough to be here today.
Right. And so We'll dive in with the demo. As you'll see, it's kind of similar in style to case text of what it can do, but it looks different. So as you'll see, when you get into Lexis Plus AI, you're able to communicate it really naturally, and it doesn't have to be formal language. That was one of the biggest pieces of why they created this technology. They said they'd gotten a lot of complaints regarding that. So something that is really useful with Lexis specifically are all of these case texts. So you'll notice it's bringing up the code, where in the code that this comes from. And so it helps you understand why you're generating an answer. So if you notice that that's not the case text they wanted it to pull, you
Right.
could redirect early on.
That's great.
Another thing you can do is that you don't have to start a new chat. You can just continue what you're doing and keep asking the computer more and more questions. And it's going to behave like it's an associate sitting in front of you. It's going to keep answering the questions. You don't
Nice.
have to keep restarting.
That's huge.
It
That's a
really
huge-
is.
We talk about how AI helps efficiency. That is exactly how it helps.
Exactly.
Because I don't know how many of you multitask, but we multitask like crazy. And then I have to come back to where I was and I'm like, do I have to start all over again? And this lets you pick it up.
And it will save it too historically. So you can go back and visit and say, last week I was doing something. What was that whole flow? And you can go back and visit it. And something else that you can see here that's really, really useful is that, say you've done all of these searches and now you need to follow up with your client based on the research you did. It can help you write a draft of that email and tie in those key points that it highlighted in the research. So something that it's helping automate processes that you would have to do. John, to answer the question, it's a very interesting pool that they're putting people in. So they'll call you a Lexis AI Insider right now.
Love that.
It's very exclusive. You get a newsletter like once a week. Right now, that's where they'll send you the latest updates if they do more webinars, but they won't actually allow you to access it right at this point from what I've experienced. So I think it's the fast pass to get the email alert when it's available. So you can join it that day. But I believe that is what the difference
And
is.
stay tuned because we'll make sure to keep you guys, as soon as we get information, we'll be sharing it with you guys.
Absolutely.
So, Alexi.
Yes. So let's dive into Alexi.
Alexi, here we go. So, were you paying attention before? I hope so. This is our Jeopardy question. Are you guys ready? Alexi helps you draft this kind of legal document. Now, we said it very quickly.
Lisa got it.
I didn't even get to sing my song, Lisa.
We didn't get through the whole song, but you got it. Alexi helps with writing memos. That is their specialty. They picked a lane and they are thriving in it. So let's show you a demo of what
This
Alexi
is a great
like.
user interface as well. You got to give them credit for that. The UX is beautiful.
Absolutely. So what Alexi does is it's focused solely on memo writing. It comes with a higher price tag than the other companies. Each memo is priced at $299 each, which is steep. I recognize that. However, you're going to see why in just a moment. So it is really doing a lot of the work that an associate or a paralegal would be doing.
Or you.
So you're going through, you're asking the questions, you're giving a broad case description. You're going to select which jurisdiction you're looking to assess against. You might have folders of different things that you've uploaded previously you want to tie in. But all in all, you are making this be as specific as you need to then fire it off and send it to Alexi. So I saw a question up above ask if there are human attorneys that are reviewing these. So in Lexis, they haven't made that clear yet, but they have made that clear with Alexi, which is why the price tag is steeper. It always has a human eye, it's guaranteed. And so what you'll see with one of these memos is here's a sample output. This is a really robust memo. Personally, I was very impressed by it, but it has a lot of different sections to it. So it's got the law, it's got some prior case text that it's referencing, it's got the issue at hand, it's got citations at the end. This is really great for something that you just hit a button and you only had to select what jurisdiction.
And you had to pay.
Right? Yeah, you did have to pay. But something just to consider is that Alexi does offer 2 free memos as part of their get started. So say you're not sure if you want to sign up for the product, if you're thinking that price tag is kind of steep, you can always upload a memo that you wrote, or you could have a memo you wrote and provide the case details to Alexi and see what it creates and see how it compares to the one that you made. And perhaps yours is better and this isn't a product that you want to continue with. But perhaps Alexi is really impressive and you realize, okay, 1 billable hour would cost me $300. So
Yep.
maybe I just saved this. I pay Alexi because I otherwise would have used 10 hours to write
Right.
this one piece. So it's just something to consider when it comes to the cost.
Well, and we do know, we were at the AAJ, American Association of Justice Conference in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago, walking through the vendor hall and was chatting with Even Up, who writes demand letters. And similar to Alexi, what they do is they make sure that there's a human eye on things because they are all in for the technology, but they still understand that in the legal profession, we are very cautious. So they're adding that extra level of safety. You pay for it, but then you have confidence. So that's the good
And
news.
a lot of those platforms, just like you mentioned with Even Up, they're started by former attorneys, which kind of gives
Yep.
that extra peace of mind that they're thinking about the same concerns that you have. And they're not going to put their legal license at risk just for
Sure.
the sake of the AI. They're advising these companies. We've spoken with a lot of the teams internally at these companies, and
Yeah.
they are all taking these into consideration, all of these concerns.
We spoke with the founder of AI.law, and he's a litigation attorney who has built a phenomenal product that he has up on his site, and it's free for everyone to test and use. So
Mhm.
again, we'll share all of these. You don't have to write everything down, but again, try it. You're not going to submit it, but you're going to try it and you're going to learn and you're going to see what style is meant for you. And now we're on to my favorite part of the whole managing a law firm, which is billing. I love billing. I love making it more efficient. I love making collection calls. I know I'm crazy, but I want that dollar. So how is AI going to help the finance of law firms, Annie?
Yeah. So Audit acquired the company Badhala a couple of years ago, and they integrated their AI technology. So I'll show you a quick little demo. So there isn't a lot available. You have to set up a call with sales to learn much more on this. However, the biggest thing is that it's going to help you with your spend to keep tabs on it throughout the month. It's also going to show you based on billable hours. It's going to show you based on timekeeper. So by role, it's going to compare quarter after quarter. Perhaps you're going to have one quarter that's more successful than the other. Then you're also going to be able to see the average billable hour and by role of what that is currently, how that compares to prior months. And so because of that, they're able to use their AI to predict what future months' earnings are going to be.
Which is great.
Yeah, that could be super helpful when you're predicting marketing costs of how many clients you're able to take on or that you want to take on. So just a really interesting tool that we haven't seen a ton of firm finance come around. And so this was one that caught our eye.
Jeff asked you your favorite question.
Oh, is there a particular AI platform that's best for summarizing medical records? So there are a lot available. I really like Wise Docs. It's Wise like the owl, Docs like Google.
Yeah.
But they do a really great job of medical chronology. So that is something that there are a lot of areas out there too. PI attorneys, I definitely encourage you to search around. Use the specific terms. So just like you said, summarize medical record AI. That's a great Google search, and that's going to bring you up like the top 10. Wise Docs is one, and I'm blanking on the other. So check Wise.
This is why she's the expert, guys. Okay, so now we'll talk about consumer. So we've had the pleasure of actually speaking to the founder and CEO of Do Not Pay. Do Not Pay brilliantly went viral, and believe me, it is not easy to go viral. We've had fortunate maybe once or twice in our neck of the woods, but what they did is they said, hey, listen, we want a lawyer to wear an earbud and we want a lawyer to say what we're typing out from AI. Now, didn't go anywhere, and that would put the kibosh on it real quick, but it is a really cool tool and platform for consumers. So Annie, maybe show a little bit how and why would lawyers want to know about Do Not Pay?
Absolutely. So Do Not Pay is a platform that consumers can use for free. This is something you'll see if you go to donotpay.com. You can see it right now if you scroll down on their homepage. As you'll see, there are a ton of categories and there is a ton of subtopics within that. So right now we'll look at what happens if I want to break a lease. Do Not Pay is going to give me a lot of key insight into what I need to know as a consumer who's not an attorney. And the reason we wanted to highlight this is for a couple reasons. Main one being, we know that all attorneys have had that moment where you have a potential new client come in and they start talking to you and you realize, you are not ready for me yet. I am not at the stage where you need to be involved yet. Or perhaps you realize maybe the case you're looking for, the help you're needing, it's not a right price match. I can't help you for the fee that you're willing to pay, and you actually could file this paperwork on your own. This is a way for you to direct them somewhere else. You could say, hey, I can't take you on, but you could check out this platform and here's something available that you can, with some legal knowledge. They also give a lot of disclaimers that this is not an attorney, like Colleen mentioned. They tried that got kiboshed really quick. And something else that I just wanted to mention with Do Not Pay is we have a lot of questions come up about making a blog for your website
Yep.
and making things that stand out to consumers who are looking for a new attorney.
Yep.
So perhaps you go to Do Not Pay and you explore the topics that they have already listed out that fit in your practice area. And those are some articles that you could write. So perhaps you look at Do Not Pay's what do I do if I want to break a lease?
Yep.
And you think I could do that better. I could write that a lot more better and it would be in my tone. So you could use an idea like that. So just different things that consumers are interested in.
So Lisa asked you a good question. I'm going to answer your question in a second, Lisa, if that's okay. We'll keep rolling, but I've got a solution to your question.
Yes.
An answer and a solution. All right. So how's everybody feeling right now? Are we feeling overwhelmed, excited, bored? Did someone say bored? No. No one said anything. I think that's what that means. No, thank
Good.
you, Grace.
Excited.
That's what
I
we
like
like.
that.
Listen, AI is exciting. The possibility to help grow your firm, the possibility to make you more efficient, the possibility to have a law library in your pocket. That's amazing. And that's what's coming. So with that said, we just want to give you a little recap of everything that we just went through. So So again, what we are here to talk to you and tell you about is that we are holding an AI specific seminar in Las Vegas this September 7th and 8th at the Four Seasons. We are going to go through what Lisa, you said, hey, listen, how can I learn about this? What you're going to do is you're going to sit at specific practice area tables and we're going to show you the AI that could be used to build a better firm. We're going to go through networking, how to register to use large language models, how to scale your business, because at the end of the day, AI is not going to fix absolutely everything. And there are some core principles that we still need to address when growing and building a better firm. Everything is breakfast, lunch, it's top notch. There may or may not be an appearance from Elvis, but there will be Michael Gerber. Anyone know who Michael Gerber is? He coined the famous saying, work
on your business,
not in your business. So again, we've got some heavy hitter speakers that are going to really help us understand. Hey,
E-Myth, yeah.
E-Myth, nice, Catherine.
Yeah.
So as a special thanks for attending today's webinar, we have a special package for you. This is our VIP package. This is today only that we're rolling this out. The ticket to attend the event is $597. That includes all your food, includes all your drinks at happy hour, absolutely everything, your workshops, your seminar. If you book, you're in charge of your hotel and your flights, but we are upgrading you to the 1-bedroom suite at the Four Seasons, which I will personally say is fabulous. And we will be doing an exclusive breakfast Friday morning with our legal marketing experts. So we really encourage you guys to check it out to learn more, because what we just gave you was 20 minutes. What we really need to give you is 2 days. So with that said, feel free. We're going to drop a link right now. If you'd like to talk to one of our specialists, please reserve your seat here. We are going to limit it to 5 just because it is a very intimate event. And if you have more questions, scan the code. But I think let's open it up to questions, Annie. Anyone have questions about the presentation, about the boot camp? We are here to answer. All right, what is Sarah saying?
Sarah said, the Utah State Bar recently passed a rule that if we use AI at all, we must get the client sign off on it, and that we can only bill for the time we spend. I.e., if AI helps us do a 30-minute job in 10 minutes, we can only bill for the 10 minutes.
That's fair, though. That's fair.
Yeah, that helps us take on more clients, but we have to work just as hard. What is the incentive to learn it to just work as much? I'm curious on your opinion.
Well, so Sarah, my question is why do you have to work just as hard if the AI is doing the work quicker?
Yeah.
Now, in the beginning, yes, because we're learning, we're double checking. So I get that in the beginning, that's 1000% true, but maybe after the 10th one, it's not.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a really great question about Sarah, about the ethics piece of it. I've been following this a lot myself, just from that question of from an ethics standpoint.
Yeah. How
do you bill for an hour that you didn't work the full hour? So Utah is thank you for this update. That is one of the first spaces. I know previously there was a judge that was disclosing that you needed to disclose it to use it in the courtroom.
Yeah.
So this would be the first that I've heard that the client has to be disclosed on that as well.
Yeah.
My take on it is really the client nurturing piece. Something that I think of, to your point, Sarah, is like, okay, if I did this in 10 minutes, now do I have to bring on another client to fill up the other 20 minutes? Or do I spend the rest of the 20 minutes with this one client? And so for me, what I would say personally is I would take the 10 minutes of work and spend the 20 minutes on the phone with the client. And so that's how you're still able to recoup that billable hour, but you're nurturing the client and then you're building the funnel for word of mouth. Something we talk a lot about at the Business Builder Bootcamp as well is about how to really nurture that word of mouth and the reputation you've built in the community. And so that could be a great way that
client experience.
Yeah,
right?
I just think of how many times that you've heard someone say, like, I got on the phone with them, but they were really quick and they got me off the phone. Or the flip side, I was on there and they didn't want to get me off. They just wanted to fill the hour and keep billing me. But what if you had a conversation with someone and you talk to them about how they've been doing? This has been a really heavy thing for them to take on. What's going on now? Give me an update. That might set you apart from others in the crowd. So that's just something to consider for my personal take on it.
That's a good edit, though, Sarah, for us to know about the Utah State Bar.
Hey, Colleen, can I just add one other piece?
Yeah, please, Chad.
A huge emphasis that we'll be talking about at the AI Business Builder Bootcamp as well is making sure you have more clients come in that door, and also you create a consistent, fluid client journey, maximizing and utilizing AI. So it's not just in those billable hours sense, but it's also getting more clients and causing you to actually spend more time on billable hours and doing the things that you love to do rather than getting caught up in things that can be frustrating.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
there's a lot to it.
Absolutely. All right. Any other questions out there? So we are okay. Oh,
Yes, Sean, we
Avianca?
Yes, the Avianca lawsuit. Yes. That is a case that we are familiar with. And our biggest stake, so for anyone who's not familiar here, that is the case that was in, I believe it was the Ninth Circuit in New York. It was an attorney that was arguing for someone who was injured on an Avianca flight. And when the attorney submitted the brief to the court, he did not double check that the citations were accurate, and some of them were false. Some of them were made up. They didn't even exist. It wasn't like it pointed to a different case that was conflicting. Just was false. It didn't even exist.
A
hallucination, if you will. And so in that situation, it was very awkward for that attorney. The attorney had to issue a statement to the court, and nothing anyone wants to ever take on. And so our take on that is just like when you ride a bicycle, you want to put on your helmet. If you a rollerblader, you want to put on elbow pads, knee pads, everything. You need to make sure that you do your due diligence to cover yourself when you're using these products. That is where a Microsoft Chat Enterprise kind of stands out. The Bing Chat Enterprise is like, oh, okay, well, we are a little bit more contained. Or case text. Now I have someone that's checking that citation. And so we always recommend double checking the citations, because truly it's your standing is on the line if you don't. So you really just want to make sure you're doing your due diligence.
Now, these new softwares and platforms that are coming out, they may remove some of that, but no one's going to make that guarantee yet. I did ask one of the AI companies, I was like, so are you going to guarantee that the information you give has no hallucinations? And they said, absolutely not yet. So, all right, we'll take a couple more questions. If not, we'll start the weekend early, guys.
Yeah, I saw Dan, you asked, yes, we are going to send we're going to email around a copy of this the recording, and then we're also going to send over a PDF document as well that's got some of these tips in it and some of the platforms we mentioned to check out.
Well, guys, listen, we are now going to be rolling this out every 2 weeks instead of weekly. So please, we'll start to do our 401. So please get us your questions, anything that you need. We are here. We are your AI experts. And with that said, we say thank you for attending. Thank you, Annie, always for your amazing AI insight and knowledge. And we hope everyone has a wonderful weekend.
Thank you all for joining.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.